From 1999, The World Is Not Enough, another James Bond movie. I saw this one in theaters. I enjoy this one more than most people give it credit for. I think it does have some issues, okay? Firstly, this guy Apted, the director, he's really more into documentary filmmaking. Action, not so much. The action is not quite as crisp as we'd seen in GoldenEye. I would not say that is Brosnan's fault by any means. This is the last movie for Q. He basically makes an exit. But, you know, that's your big shake-up to the Bond franchise there. The opening sequence, we have a pretty cool bit where Bond has come to collect this money, and he has to fight these guys. One of them gets taken out. This is one of the more convoluted, complicated plots of a Bond movie. I think it is a genuinely good story concept told with not quite the best execution. It's very confusing because a lot of the background of this is unseen. It's like, why is he collecting this money? Oh, well, this rich guy had some money stolen, but there was an agent that was killed with the money. He wants to know about that. Well, I can't tell you. And then these people start taking out those guys. Bond makes an escape, heads back to MI6. He's got the money with him. And it's like, what do you do? It's, hey, I got your money. We're scanning the money, counting it, I guess, or something. And then Bond's talking to M. This is an old friend of hers, Mr. King. But he has this lapel that ignites this trace of urea, this explosive. I think this is something you add to a diesel truck, actually. And they said it's like a fertilizer bomb. Blows him up. And then we have this gal that was at the bank, well, the sequence at the beginning in Spain. She's on the scene. She's in a boat headed away from Bond. He hops into the boat and he's like after her, of course. Decent sequence. I mean, the boat getting up on land that Bond's in doesn't really quite work out. It's later revealed that this is Q's fishing boat for his retirement. What, you're leaving? You're leaving me with John Cleese? What's his name? R? I think in the credits he actually shows up as R. But John Cleese is a bit of too much. They call him young, but he sure as hell isn't. And he's a bit too much of a buffoon to really work here. I mean, we got a kind of jarring setup here. It seems very dramatic, pretty heavy. Then here comes John Cleese. Well, okay, so anyways, Bond's chasing the chick in the boat. There's a part where he dives underwater, rectifies his tie a bit. That's okay. The music's not great during the sequence. I don't like the way it sounds when it gets underwater. But he catches up with the chick on the boat. She hops on the hot air balloon. Bond jumps out of the boat, gets on the balloon. She's shooting at him. She's gonna blow herself up instead of getting captured by authorities. You can't save me from this guy. You can't save me from him. Blows herself up. Bond falls onto this tent type structure, this dome stadium, and he's banged up. Then we have our garbage, terrible name for a band, singing the theme song, "The world is not enough, but such a perfect place." Okay, you know, I thought it's okay. There's a lot of oil motif to this. I think that works out, honestly. Because the whole thing here, god damn these leaves. Can you guys even hear me? These, Jesus. Wow, what am I getting into, a tornado? There's a lot of oil motif to this title sequence. But it's a nice looking title sequence. Well, this girl, Elektra King, she's in the oil pipeline business. This is the daughter of the guy who was taken out. She's seen Bond at the funeral, and Bond is told to kind of keep an eye on her because they believe that she's going to be taken out next by this terrorist who had kidnapped her. We never saw the kidnapping. Like, that's the problem with the movie, is that you don't see these kind of things to understand that this stuff took place. So Bond is trailing her. She seems to do good. She doesn't want to destroy ancient places of historical value, and wants to continue the pipeline. Though she surveys an area on some skis, Guys come after her, Bond protects her, has a device where his jacket blows up, helps them in an avalanche, basically. So they're buried in snow, but they're okay. She seems quite vulnerable. And the guys after her, Renard. Cool idea for a Bond villain here. This guy, he was shot by a 00, but he didn't die. But this bullet's traveling closer to his brain. It's going to kill him eventually, but he's losing his senses. He can't feel, touch, pain, any of this stuff. And that makes him stronger. Pretty cool concept. And, God, forgot the guy's name. He's Begbie from Train Spotting. He's got a temper. Well, if you can't feel anything, he gets emotional anyways. So anyhow, Bond's hooking up with her, with Elektra, but she also goes to this like really small casino, bets $1 million, no big deal, loses to Valentin Zerkovsky. Now has facial hair. Yeah, we saw you in Goldeneye, bitch. And eventually here, there's Bond has to go tail her security guy. Gets up into no good. Gets killed by Renard. They have this plan to go steal a part of a nuclear warhead where they're disarming them. And this is like across the border. That's where you kind of run into Christmas Jones, aka the worst Bond girl. She's not completely useless. They need her to disarm shit. I mean, that's something, right? So, yeah, I mean, we got her, and we have Bond goes in, comes across Renard, his men, messing with stuff. She's all like, it's Jones, Christmas Jones. Don't tell me jokes, I've heard them all. Yeah, she's terrible in a lot of ways, but some of the stuff she does is serviceable. Denise Richards. Kind of weird to look at. I never cared for her face. But there's a shootout. It's fairly stale. Bad guys get away. Bond and Christmas Jones have to leave. Oh, but they've got this stuff going into the pipeline. They're going to take out the pipeline with this bomb, ruin the area. Okay, so Elektra invites M over to feel safe and shit. M had done something in her kidnapping, actually stalled, used her as bait. So the movie's about getting revenge on M. That's right, the whole movie got ripped off for Skyfall, and yet Skyfall gets all the acclaim. Skyfall sucks. They just ripped this off. It's a M revenge story. This seems a little more personal though. You get a sense that like this girl really has it out for her though. She tricks Bond and Jones. They get up there, they disarm the thing, they find out that the warhead's not really capable, it was kind of a trap. But with half of it, you can still make like a dirty bomb type situation. And, well, there's stuff you can do. But M gets captured by Elektra, takes her over to this little island place. This is, shit, forgot the name of the damn area, but you know you're watching the movie. Bond and Christmas Jones have to come after them, but they go to Valentin. Gets into this BMW Z8, really cool BMW Bond car here. Pierce Brosnan, first Bond to really get a lot of different cars. Has some cool capabilities, shoots missiles and shit. Gets some use out of it. Is trying to get some information from Valentin. Basically, they team up. He says, hey, there's this sub in the area, I kind of got for her. Captain of it's my nephew, and yeah, so we're gonna go meet up with them. Well, that crew gets taken out. Renard's on there. He's gonna kill himself. I guess his men were gonna sacrifice for no reason, but this was going to do all the shit in the area to destroy the oil and leave only King's pipeline as the one way to get oil out of the region. So Renard's really the hitman here. Elektra used him, manipulated him. She may or may not really love him. She's quite cruel. Being kidnapped really affected her. She didn't care for her father, didn't like the way that shit was handled. But we never see this stuff because they want to try to preserve the reveal. So you get one or the other. I think on one hand though, it is nice to see a woman as the top villain. a woman villain, villainess. She's not the henchman, she's not the muscle, she's not Xenia, she's the top dog. And you go into the movie not knowing that. They do a fair enough job of you thinking, oh, maybe it's Octopussy again. You know, maybe he's just gonna keep an eye on her and keep her safe, whatever. Nope, doesn't happen like that. So Bond and Christmas Jones go down into the sub. There's a pretty cool fight there. You know, I think they could have shot this a little better at parts because sometimes they walk across the area, it's just a stale shot. It's very utilitarian the way some of this stuff's positioned. People kind of standing still shooting each other. But Bond stops him from arming the reactor with the remaining plutonium, I think it was, radioactive shit. Uranium, I think, maybe. Tells him that, hey, I killed Elektra before I came down here, which he did. He shot her. And that was that for Elektra. But Jones helps disarm this shit, too. I mean, she does her bit. She's not useless. And, you know, they shoot out the rod that he was trying to put in. He changed the pressure on it, shot it out, threw Renard, killed him. And they made their escape in the torpedo bay, which I don't think will actually propel you up. I don't think it works that way, but I could be wrong, not a naval expert. But that allows them to get to the surface and they're cool. Then we have R, M, everybody's okay. Actually, you know what? M did something kind of useful here. A little more useful than in Skyfall. She found this clock. It was going to count down her hours remaining to her life. But she pulled it in, couldn't get that to work. Then the girl gave it to her, put it up right on the jail cell she had it in, hacks it with this card that she had that gives away the location of the nukes, and that gives MI6 her location. So that's how Bond was able to find them and shit. It worked out. But yeah, M's not useless. For whatever reason, they're trying to find Bond at the end of the movie. There's some celebration and shit, fireworks in the background. I think shot against a blue screen. But they're like, hey, we can track him with the infrared reader. Oh, hey, look, there's two people hooking up. 007. Why was that? Like, first of all, do we need to find him? Is this the best way to do it? We don't have a thing for him. They could have looked at any random person on the street. It was a silly way to end the movie. This doesn't have the most action, but it has a very intricate plot, and I think that the performances from pretty much everybody but Denise Richards are fine. You know, Sophie Marceau as Elektra, really a good villain, actually. It's just strange the way that this unfolds without the backstory. Maybe there could have been ways to show that, but then it wouldn't have involved Bond, and you gotta have your beat-to-beat sequences with the action to show that it's a modern Bond movie. I like this one. I think it's unique. It's a unique Bond film. I give The World Is Not Enough 3 out of 4 stars.